morning, everybody, and welcome to the 2014 Mayor's Breakfast and State of the City Address. My name is Chris Thomas. I'm president of the Chamber this year. I'm your MC for the festivities this morning. Welcome. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Special shout out to Kendra Luke and her staff. And to Chef Susan for all the wonderful breakfast. It's really delicious. Thank you very much. I had to wolf mine down to get up here, so you guys enjoy it very much. It's very good. I want to do a Pledge of Allegiance, so everybody stand up for a moment, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. As president, I want to give a few quick updates on the Chamber, what we did in 2013. We exceeded our goals. We had a really good year, really bounced back. Everything went wonderful. We had a best art and jazz and wine event we've ever had. Actually, looking forward to doing some enhancements this year. So that went very well this year. We're very proud about that. We did increase membership by almost 20%, which is a great number. As the economy grows and new businesses are coming to town, a lot of them are joining the Chamber. In fact, one of the reasons they're joining the Chamber this year is our new 680 business clubs. It's networking groups through the Chamber, 10 to 15 people in all those groups. It's an exciting program. We've got a lot of enthusiasm for that. We've got about 40 members in those groups now, with 3 full-time groups, and I think that we're going to start another one here in the summer, so we'll have 4 groups going on. So we're really excited about that, making sure we're providing all sorts of help to our small business owners and our members here in the Chamber. Also about the Governmental Affairs Chamber, as you may know, I am the chair of the Governmental Affairs Committee. It's a great venue for meeting all of our local dignitaries. I'll introduce everybody here in a moment. It's actually everybody from the city, the county, the state, and the federal level. We actually have people there from George Miller's office occasionally, so it's very nice for them to come and give us a chance to sit and talk with them. So it's a great venue. If you ever have any comments or questions or concerns you want to bring up to your local elected officials, it's a great venue to come and sit and talk with them on a one-to-one basis. We do that the last Mondays of the month in the evening, 5:30 p.m. over at Back 40 Barbecue. We want to do a special thank you this morning for a couple of our Chairman's Circle sponsors, both PG&E and Republic Services. With their kind donations and sponsorship, it makes it possible for the Chamber to bring events just like this and other great events throughout the year. So we really want to do a special shout out. In fact, I'd like to have Tom come up for a moment, please. Also, Tim and Susan from Republic Services would be great.
I prefer Susan come up instead of Tim.
It's a little raise.
This comes under other duties as assigned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Black shirt. So first, an appreciation from the Chamber for Republic Services. Thank you so much. It was really great to work with
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Tom as well from PG&E for all you do. It's fantastic. Really. Love your support. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, please. I did want to acknowledge some of our distinguished guests this morning, starting with the Pleasant Hill Chamber Board. The group of dedicated people that I work with on the board make these things possible. It's been a really tight-knit group over the last several years. We've got some new fresh blood in the mix as well. It's been fantastic. It's a lot of fun. I want to recognize everybody. First, Joe Stokely, last year's president and chairman. Thank you, sir. Our executive director was just up here, Miss Ann Luke. Thank you. The aforementioned Tom Garino. Judith Sosnowski, is she here? I haven't seen her. Okay. I know Sue is here. Sue Domhazel. Thank you. Ann Baker's hiding here somewhere as well. Good morning. David Levine, where are you? There you are. Good morning. Dennis Erickson, I don't think he's here this morning, but Dennis is a new member of our board. As is Julie McCoy, Mike Robertson, Jeff Willis, and yours truly. From the city of Pleasant Hill, I want to introduce the council members. Distinguished Mayor Tim Flaherty. His co-partner in crime, Ken Carlson. David Durant. Dr. Michael Harris. And Jack Weir, who I didn't see this morning. Is he Jack here? No. Jack, as well. Thank you. Also, as part of this fantastic venue, I want to make sure I introduce the Pleasant Hill Rec and Park Board. Sarah? She'll be speaking in a few moments. Everybody knows Bobby Glover? Sandra Bonato? Dennis Donahue? Thank you. Zach Schiff? Zach, thank you. Good morning. I also saw this morning from the BART board, Gail Murray. Thank you. And from our school board, Linda Mayo. And then our other elected officials, Karen Mitchoff and Mara Gold. Thank you. From Susan Bonilla's office, Tyson Moore. Thank you. From Senator Lois Wolk's office, Denny Bernardini. And the Contra Costa College Board member, Matt Rinn. Matt, how are you? Thank you. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I hope I caught everybody. Okay. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. John. Thank you. Anybody else? Oh, City Clerk, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we want to give a few minutes this morning to talk about the beautiful buildings and stuff that Rec and Park has put together and all the work they've done. I'm going to bring Sherry Sherritt up here. She's going to talk to us a few moments about how these all came together, these wonderful projects. So let's give her a big hand, huh?
Good morning, everyone. Whoa, this is on wheels. Anyhow, my plan for the day is to give you an update on our facilities and then to tell you a few factoids about each one that you may not know, sort of that Paul Harvey rest of the story concept. So if you'll join me on the next slide, please. Jan's going to be my assistant here, and this is a nice phrase, and we'll move to the next one. Thank you. A long time ago, the Park District knew that we were having problems with our aging facilities and our maintenance costs were getting higher and higher. So we decided it was time to do some remodeling and some renovation, and Unfortunately, it all came together back in about 2008. If you remember, that was the beginning of the recession and things were getting tight and problems were happening, people were losing their jobs. And so we just couldn't go any longer without doing something about our problem, and as a result, we had the formation of the Measure E campaign, a bond measure. What we did first of all in 2008 was an extensive public education, so the public became aware of all the problems we were having and the needs of the district. Then we did a community survey to see what the community liked, what they would want, and what they'd be willing to pay for in the various projects. The end result was a $28 million bond project that allowed us to build for the community a teen center, a senior center, a new community center, and the renovation of an old park, the Pleasant Oaks Park. I'd like to go back and talk about the bond campaign a little bit. When you file a bond measure, the county gives you a letter or a number, and we ended up with E. So Measure E became the known phrase, and we used E for everyone, because we thought there was a great opportunity for the entire community to get behind the Park District and be able to see what was happening. So at this point, we opened a campaign headquarters in June of 2009 on Oak Park Boulevard. It ran 7 days a week from basically 4 in the afternoon till 9 at night. Volunteers came in and we ran a full-fledged campaign, which many of you have participated in, and maybe many of you have had your own campaigns. Phone banking, letter envelope stuffing, addressing, precinct walking, answering questions. And I set this up as a background because now I'm going to tell you the rest of the story. What happened, the bond passed. We needed 66% or 2/3%, 66 point something. We ended up passing it with 77%. So we were delighted in such economic times to see the community come forward with such strong support for the Park District. But the rest of the story is, during this time, the Contra Costa Times did several editorials, articles, columns, and their big headline was, "What the hell do they think they're doing?" And every time they did it, we took it in the knife in the heart. What don't they understand? But every time they printed in the paper, more volunteers walked into our campaign headquarters. Everybody wanted to get these projects done, and those who came to commit themselves worked extremely hard. Now, the rest of the story is, and this is my sweet part for me personally, after the campaign and we were closing things down, we come to find out that one of the men on the editorial board of the Contra Costa Times lives in Pleasant Hill. So when the bond passed and we put the last box away, we said, he has to pay that tax like everybody else. It was a sweet ending. Then I'd like to move on to the teen center. The first project we did, and it's not like these projects happen automatically. It takes quite a while. This one actually came to fruition from 2009 to 2012. We had to sell the bonds, design the buildings, take down the old buildings, put up the new building, get the permits. All these things take place. And so in August of 2009, we were finally able to open up our first building, which was the teen center. Now this is a 5,000 square foot facility in a park setting. It's a large main room, has a game room, a computer bay, and a kitchen with 2 snack shack windows, one serving the pool, one serving the building. Now here's a fact. Did you know that in addition to the teen center, the part that you might have seen, the front of the building over here, that behind the building, there is attached to it, so it looks like it's the same building, is another 2,000 square feet. In this 2,000 square feet, we have put public restrooms that serve the park. So unless you go around to the back of the building, or if you're in the park, you might have missed that those facilities are there. The other thing that was helpful and much needed was, in the park, all of our park maintenance had to bring their supplies from the corporation yard. So part of the 2,000 square feet is a situation where we now can store supplies to serve the needs of that park and make it far more convenient for the maintenance of the park and certainly for our employees. Now, another fact you might not know about the teen center, of course you might because it was in the newspaper a little bit, when a building opened, we were really concerned about the teens didn't seem to come. They didn't seem to understand it was for them. So we had some pretty low numbers, and we were, as a board and staff, getting very concerned. However, the good staff that we have revamped the program, went to all the back-to-school nights, both public and private schools, and today we average 65 students at the Teen Center every single day. The Teen Center is open from 3 until 6, 5 days a week. They have a lot of special events there. I share the hours with you because we want to utilize the facility, so if you need a meeting space from 9 to 2:45, or you need something in the evening, be sure to check with the district because it's perfect for that situation. Now, the cost of this facility, $4 million. I'd like to move on to the senior center. Thank you. 3 months after we opened the teen center, we opened the new senior center. Now, this is a 20,000 square foot facility, 2 major multi-purpose rooms, a lounge area with a fireplace, computer center, several meeting rooms, a dance studio, a cafe, and a full-service professional kitchen. I'm happy to announce that this building has just won a state award from the California Parks and Recreation Society. The award was in the category of Outstanding Facility Design for 2013. On this slide, I want you to notice, next slide please, right over here we have a computer lab. And I share this with you because things go on in this center you would never believe. First of all, I was visiting one day, and all of a sudden, in the mid-afternoon, a lady coming into the door, and she had some envelopes with her, and so she stopped a second, and we were chatting, and I said, "Where are you going?" "Oh, I'm going to the computer lab." "Really? You like the computer?" "No, I go there once a month to pay my bills online." She had a password, she knew what she was doing, and she just didn't have a computer. So that was exciting going on there. Every month she would come down and pay her bills. Another thing is membership, you've been hearing about that. The old senior center was really a conglomerate of 3 buildings, part of a church, part of an old house, and part of a Quonset hut. Well, membership and programs were great, but they tended to be around 1,000, 1,500. With the new facilities, we are currently serving 3,400 members of the senior club and services for seniors. The cost of this building is $11 million. Now we're talking about the new community center. Hopefully you've had a chance to be there, or you were at the grand opening, which was just a few weeks ago. This building is 21,800 square feet in a Tahoe-like setting, has 6 large multi-purpose classrooms, has seating up to 400 people in the Pereira Pavilion, can seat 100 people in the McHale room. The community center has a full-service catering kitchen and is home for our preschool programs. The cost for this building was $11 million. Now, as you look at the slide, I want to remind you that Measure E is for brick and mortar only. So therefore, fortunately, we had to draw upon the community again because no furnishings were available. But as you look around, maybe next slide, we have wonderful furnishings, and it's a great place for you to come and have another meeting or corporate conference. Whatever meets your needs, we'll certainly be there to avail you. However, you've heard a lot about maybe FF and E. That was a separate campaign that we ran for furniture, fixtures, and equipment. So we hope you're enjoying the new equipment and the new furnitures. We're benefiting from the equipment, and people have generously given to support the furnishing of these buildings. We hope you find it to your liking and that you'll be using it for many, many years. Now, before we say goodbye to the old community center, think about it. This is an interesting fact I think you're all going to want to know about. When that building was built, it was state-of-the-art at its time in the 50s. It was cement blocks, cement pillars, some wood, and lots of glass. It was open and known. But when you take a building down and you have this pile of rubbish sitting there, what are you going to do with it? Well, the cement from that building became the infill structure and the foundation for the Highway 4 extension. So we recycled it. We were able to put it to another good use. Pleasant Oaks Park is our 4th project. This is going to be opening on March the 2nd. Pleasant Oaks Park has been completely redesigned and renovated. It has 5 softball fields, dugouts with warm-up bullpens at each field, 3 enlarged batting cages, and an adult-sized soccer field. We've always had youth sports. Now we have an adult-sized soccer field. The park has new preschool play equipment area, compliant with all disability laws, has several picnic areas, 2 improved parking lots, new benches, drinking fountains, and, if you believe this, 150 new trees have gone into that park. That's amazing to me. I actually thought the number was going to be 15, but staff confirmed it's 150. Now, to renovate the Pleasant Oaks Park was $4 million. If you've been writing on the tablecloth these numbers, you'll see that the 4 projects went to $29 million instead of $28. So how did we solve that $1 million shortage? Well, if you recall, several years ago, East Bay Regional Park did a bond measure, and theirs was labeled WW. And in order to pass their bond measure, they gave per population, per capita money back to the local park district. Our share was a little more than $1 million, so we saved it. And we used the $1 million from the park bond measure from East Bay Regional to make up the difference so that we could afford the 4. Because remember, when we put the buildings out to bid, the economy was low and everybody's hungry and the bids were lower. But as time improved and things got better, the true cost kicked in, we had to have another $1 million. But we planned for it and we have it. So the project that we did for this one has been completed and we have paid for it. At this time, I was going to introduce you to the Board of Directors, but since you've met them all, I simply would like to say, on behalf of the Board of Directors, we want to thank the voters, the people who've made donations to FF&E, to the mayor, and to the City of Pleasant Hill for the partnership we had in these projects. It was a pleasure to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. These really are beautiful venues. Wow. Actually, we're holding our community awards at the new community center here in a couple weeks, so make sure you guys attend that as well. That's coming up. There was one more dignitary I wanted to recognize, Dr. Mac Powell from JFK University. Give you a quick shout out as well. Thank you. I figured I was going to miss somebody I didn't know was going to be the person that I had over at the house for the Broncos Super Bowl party last Sunday. But what do you do, right? Without further ado, I want to give our mayor as much time as possible. So introduce Tim Flaherty here. But then thank you for the partnership with the city and the Rec and Park. Without further ado, the Honorable Tim Flaherty.
Well, good morning. And thank you, Sherry, for shaving about 10 minutes off of my presentation. A special thank you to the Chamber for hosting this event. I think it's appropriate that we're here in the Senior Center since the city is now eligible to be a member. As of 2011, we passed the 50-year mark. And I'm also pleased to say that I'm eligible to be a member and have been for a lot longer than the city. I want to thank you for coming out today this morning so early. I had suggested we have a pajama party, but the chamber vetoed that idea. But I am a rookie at this.
There we go.
Well, let's take it. I want to thank you again for the opportunity to take a look back at the accomplishments of last year and take a peek at some of the things that we expect to happen in the coming year. I do want to ask you for your indulgence today. I did not have the opportunity to attend the apprenticeship program for mayor by serving as the vice mayor. So I will have to draw on my skills as my 4th class elementary school president. Perhaps some of the skills I learned scooping ice cream at Baskin-Robbins, sweeping up broken glass at Royal Glass Company, workshop, parking cars, perhaps my 33 years as a real estate and business lawyer, or my many years as the chair of the Civic Action Commission, or even my years on the Planning Commission. Perhaps those will inform me today. I stand here really as a representative of the entire City Council. Despite our annual rotation of chairs and titles, we are really equals. Our votes all are of equal weight. Our opinions are of equal weight. We express our opinions with passion, and despite our occasional philosophical differences, you'll find that we're more often than not are unanimous in our decisions. And I think in that respect, and only in that respect, are we classless. So we all know Pleasant Hill as a place that despite what you've heard, the City Council is not a five-headed hydra. We are truly a collection of hardworking individuals, and we are collegial, and we are often convivial. So do not believe what you hear or what you read. Come to a City Council meeting, observe us in action, and I think you'll have a true opportunity to judge us. Perhaps even more important, though, than my colleagues on the City Council are the city staff. They run the day-to-day affairs of the city, and they serve us with extreme competence and good cheer. I had actually asked the city manager for all city employees to be allowed to attend today so we could recognize them. She immediately vetoed my suggestion, which is probably further evidence of why she is a good city manager. We do have a number of people here from city staff, and I would like them all to stand up and just be recognized. We have with us today our city manager, June Catalano, our city attorney, Janet Colson, our chief of police, John Moore, our economic development manager, Kelly Calhoun, our finance manager, Mary McCarthy, our planner, Greg Foos, our chief building official, Mike Nielsen, our redevelopment administrator and apparently a hidden gem in City Hall, Bob Stewart, our acting city engineer, Rod Wu, the indefatigable public information officer, Martin Nealis, and the newest member, at least here tonight, whom I am truly grateful, is our executive assistant, Juanita Davalos. We all know Pleasant Hill is a great place to live, work, and raise a family. Our citizens are highly educated, and we have fantastic schools here from pre-K all the way up through the college level. We have an excellent park system. Thank you, Rec and Park. Our city is walkable, it is bikeable. We have a wonderful commercial areas from our northern border up on Contra Costa Boulevard all the way to the downtown and all the commercial neighborhoods in between. I believe if we conducted a survey of our citizens, we'd find that they were very happy to be here and very happy with the way the city is being run. Pleasant Hill is a tree city, and it strives to become more green. I applaud the efforts of the city and of the chamber to reduce our waste and our carbon footprint, and I expect those efforts will continue in the coming year. The Pleasant Hill Library is one of the most utilized library facilities in the county, yet is an aging facility. And the city has struggled for years to find a way to supplement the funding for the library and to increase its hours. I'm pleased to inform you that the city has adopted as one of its goals this year, the City Council, is to establish a task force to review the need and feasibility for a new library facility here in Pleasant Hill. It has been 10 years since the city last took an in-depth look at the library facility. Economic conditions back then and lack of community support caused that task force then to fallow. But there appears to be a resurgence of interest, and the purpose of the task force would be to go out into the community and determine whether or not there is truly the depth of support necessary to pursue building a new facility. The cost of a new library will take overwhelming community support in favor of financing and what would be an important addition to our community. An oft-repeated complaint we hear at City Hall is the condition of our streets. In the past year, the city has taken significant measures to improve the conditions of our streets. And you may or may not know that there's an actual grade that city streets are given pursuant to a paving condition index, or the PCI. Overall, on average, the city has a good rating, but average by definition means there are streets that are not good and some streets that are better than good. The city's goal is to have all streets achieve the good rating, but just so you know how lofty that goal is, it would take tens of millions of dollars to achieve that over time. This year, the city's adopting its new 2-year budget, and there will be, I'm sure, lively debate during that budget to discuss the issues and the competing interests of how those budget dollars are to be spent. Do we dedicate funds towards a new library facility or increasing library hours? Do we dedicate funds to increasing the quality of our roadways? Do we dedicate funds to sustainable buildings and renewable energy? These are just a few of the needs and competing interests for the limited budget dollars. I'm sure there will be lively debate and difficult choices to be made in the months ahead. In the coming year, the City Council will be considering issues relating to urban design, transportation, parking, and livability. We will begin the process of updating our housing element, a process required to satisfy state mandate, and also finding the housing needs of the city now and in the future, and where the housing will be located and in what density. And then, of course, there are issues of technology and connectivity. Pleasant Hill recognizes the central role of technology in making government more open and available to all. Just ask our city clerk about the issues about transparency and encouraging citizen involvement. In the past year, Pleasant Hill has revamped its website, adding content and making it more easily navigable. Staff and council continue to look for more ways to provide public access through the website to the workings of our government. I believe we will be considering in the near future live streaming of our council meetings. So for those of you who don't want to watch us on delay or don't want to get out of your sweats and come down to a council meeting, you can watch it in the comfort of your own home. So by now you're probably asking yourself, Tim, where are the graphs? Where are the pie charts? You know, where are the pictures? Come on. So let me, without further ado, see if I can do this. All right, here's graphs. Let's take a quick snapshot at the fiscal condition of the city. So this is our general fund revenue historically. This is bad. This is good. Sales tax revenue, bad, good. Property tax revenue. You might sense what the theme here. Bad, good. Business license fees. Whoop. All good. General fund expenditures. Again, all good. As you saw the bad, our expenditures went down. As you saw the good, our expenditures went up measuredly, not in dollar for dollar sync with additional revenues. The purse strings of the city have been held tightly, and considering long-term obligations, I think we're going in the right direction. So, and this will give you an example of just historically the good and the bad. For a number of years, bad. We were spending more than we were taking in. We were dipping into our reserve funds, but it was to sustain the services that are required to keep the city in the condition it is. Our revenues have started to spike. 12 and 13 really is anomalous. There was transfers between certain funds and outlays for capital improvements. I think 13-14 is a more accurate reflection of the upward trend. We expect that trend to continue as we all sense that there is a turnaround in the economy going forward. And now it's pie charts. All good. You know, sometimes people get shocked that the lion's share of our city budget relates to personnel. But the city truly is a service organization. And as it is with all service organizations, the primary expense is your personnel. So there's nothing untoward or unusual or unreasonable about this. All right, so we're going to take a look back at the people and businesses that have taken up residence here in Pleasant Hill in 2013. And I'm pleased to tell you that this almost matches up with Mayor Michael Harris's projections of what businesses were going to open up in 2013. So we're pleased to have some lovely new restaurants in town, and I'm also further pleased that it's not just chains or national retail. We also focus on locally run businesses. I encourage you all, if you have not yet, to check out Zachary's, Wentz's, and the Corner Bakery. New businesses also were some retail, Nordstrom Rack. Nothing more need be said. Looking forward. Home Goods. This is the location formerly occupied by the Barnes & Noble bookstore, and so I'm very saddened that we've lost our last bookstore in Pleasant Hill. But that is, I think, just the nature of that industry. It's very difficult to find a brick-and-mortar bookstore. But if anybody wants to take a risk and open up a bookstore, please contact Kelly Calhoun, our Economic Development Director.
Open it next door to the record store.
That's right.
The adult bookstore over on Prospect.
This bears repeating. Timothy Martin Argenti and Timothy Martin Flaherty both like the bookstore on Monument Boulevard. There's going to be a little revamping of the clock tower in the downtown area, and we're going to have our first independently owned clothing store, two clothing stores, one for men and one for women. Atlas for men, Athena for women. Go figure that. That's expected to open up sometime this spring. So we'll see the clock tower, which currently looks, whoops, I don't need the pointer. Where's that? There to there. Everybody's favorite, Dick's. Next to Dick's is a facility that formerly was occupied by the Bally's Fitness Center. And to me, that was the most distressing closing in Pleasant Hill in the last 5 years. But I am pleased to tell you that as of about 11 o'clock last night, I was informed that there are serious lease negotiations going on for that location to be occupied by the Designer Shoe Warehouse. So how do we attract these businesses, and how do we get them to be successful in Pleasant Hill? We do that through a vibrant economic development policy. In the past year, we've launched our shoppleasanthill.org website, which lists all of the businesses in Pleasant Hill. We have a number of economic development support programs, the retail marketing program, where the city underwrites some mailers and BART posters and the like, and we've helped out about 15 businesses. The program is still alive and there's still funding available. We encourage anyone in the room who wants to take part of that, as long as you're a sales tax generating business, Kelly would be happy to help you. And the Chamber and the city are combining forces in the next week to do a program to help all of you market your individual businesses. I understand there's still just a few seats left at this program, so run and get your ticket now. We also attract and keep businesses by maintaining the infrastructure of the city. In the past year and through this year, there's 4 major capital improvement projects that are underway. On Contra Costa Boulevard, from Viking to Chilpancingo, there will be a revamping of the sidewalks, medians, and the like. And now, future. Now, future. So it's going to be a much more vibrant, attractive, pedestrian-friendly boulevard that we hope will further enhance the connectivity between our northern commercial area and our downtown. We're also doing a bridge replacement at Golf Club Road. There will be a net for suicide jumpers. We are also embarking on not only branding the city for marketing purposes, but branding it through its physical borders and entries and roadways. Geary Road is going to be undergoing renovation from Putnam to Pleasant Hill Road, and at the Pleasant Hill Road intersection with Geary, the Pleasant Hill side, which is a joint venture with Walnut Creek, is already half done, and so we have our new sort of monument and marker here. It's quite lovely, although I do miss my lazy right turn there, but oh well, that's progress, right? These are the Geary Road improvements. If this makes any sense to you, good. The engineers got very excited about that slide. Buzzkirk, which is an improvement that's been underway for a long, long time and has been reported, I think, on the last 3 or 4 mayor conference, mayor breakfasts, is actually phase 1 is done. Phase 2 is, I think, already underway, and it's going to look like this. We're going to have shadows and bus shelters, and I don't know, that's a sculpture or a deteriorating fence back there, but it's very attractive. So as part of branding the physical borders of the city, I'm pleased to announce that the city is just underway taking proposals and gathering ideas, and we're reaching out to the community, is how do we define our borders? The way we're laid out, we have no geographic marker that distinguishes us from our other bordering cities, and it's really blurred lines. In fact, I wanted to play the Robin Thicke song here right now, but I didn't have the capability. By the way, this is my very first PowerPoint presentation. Thank you. Hold your applause. My daughter, when I was telling her about this yesterday, she says, "Dad, I've been doing PowerPoint since the 4th grade." Anyway, the point of the Gateway Enhancement Project is to, as you can all read, enhance areas, current gateway, monuments. You're all familiar with the pagodas that are out there, the wood and the green top. They're aging. I think the Rotary at some point had suggested that they rededicate a monument or redo it. The city's looking at just changing the style of those monuments so we can really define ourselves. And we've already reached out to a couple of design firms who I think just, in the spirit of competition, gave a couple of proposals. And so I'll just show you what some other cities have done, none of which we're going to do. Yeah, really? Really? By the way, I have a palm tree in my backyard, and when the Bay Bridge was asking for palm trees to decorate the median, my daughter was all over me. "Dad, you've got to give him your palm tree." And I was like, "Well, then I won't have it in my backyard." But just think how cool it would be to drive it back and forth the Bay Bridge and say, "There's my tree." And I said, "I like saying that when it's in my backyard." So these are a couple of the proposals that came, taking inspiration from our monument. Interesting. Let's start the discussion. But the whole point of it is to reach out to the citizens, get some involvement from them. Let's, get our local artists, of which we have many, involved in the process, and let's move forward on this. So that's great. Now, the last thing that we do, not the last thing, but one of the last things we do to attract and maintain the business is to make sure we have a livable and vibrant community, a community that's engaged and participates, because they come out of their house, they go to the stores, they go to the businesses, and they go to the events. We have some tremendous events coming up this year. We have the 19th annual East Bay International Jewish Film Festival, and that's going to be in March. Let me find my cheat sheet here with the actual dates. Is it up there? Well, God, I don't even need my cheat sheet. This is a one-time event, and I want to tell you, some of these... many of the events that take place here in Pleasant Hill are actually produced by the Rec and Park District. And as we've all said many times in the past, success has many parents, failure is an orphan. Rec and Park has been tremendously successful in the 3 buildings in the park that they have brought online last year and this year. And of course, I get thanked for that on a daily basis. And my response to all of those thank yous is, you're welcome. 2 years ago when I was campaigning and I got a lot of complaints at the doorstep of many houses about the condition of our ball fields and the ruts and the pits, and I said, you know, there's an independent rec and park district, and here's who you should call about that. But we are pleased and delighted to support all of the events that Rec and Park comes forward, and they're our true civic partner in making this the community that we all know and love. Men will be the shoe models, as I understand it, of which I've been drafted to be one. Shoe boy, shoe men. Shoe men. However, I've been promised we don't have to actually wear them. We have to just hold them. Yeah. We have a great farmers market. It needs your support. It ebbs and flows in its success. We want to make this a permanent fixture and a successful one. And so please, from May through November, please buy your produce from the locally grown farmers here. Summer concerts near and dear to my heart. In the early days, we had, you know, an acoustic band and maybe 40 people. Today, we have upwards of 600 to 700 people at a concert. We have a professional sound. A member of the Civic Action Commission saying, no, it's higher. That's an exaggeration, 2,000. But I got to tell you, as part of the city's recycling efforts, we have recycled all the same pictures from the last 4 mayors' presentations. This is the same picture that David Durant showed in 2011, Mayor Hancock in 2012, Mayor Harris in 2013. As is this picture. This is a different picture. Again, a Rec and Park event, the Blues and Brews Festival. The city's happy to participate in that event. I have to tell you, if you ever get out of the beer tent, the concert is fantastic. I attended this for the very first time last summer, and I was just amazed by, one, the number of entries and just the beauty of all the cars and the openness of all the owners to share the details of the cars. And really, we can get up close. It says do not touch, but you really could touch in some instances, and that's very unlike most of the other car shows that I've been familiar with. Community Service Day, an event that is going to be having its 10th annual Community Service Day this year. We again... I took this picture. I actually worked on this project at this woman's home, cutting some trees. One thing she wanted us to do was to stake, no, it was, what's the thing that goes over the arbor, the purple flowers that come down? Wisteria. She had created a wisteria tree, which was just beautiful, but it was leaning. And so there we are, you know, and she's got like a couple old broom handles and some kite string that we're supposed to, you know, get this tree upright. And so this group and myself, we're there, and by golly, we did it. At least it was standing straight when we left. Art, Jazz, and Wine, again, just a wonderful event. Encourage you all to attend. Light up the night. Merry Christmas. So this is just a synopsis of the community events coming up with the dates and times. All right. So I think this might be a conclusion coming up. Really? Really, if there is a theme to the discussion today, it is bad and good. Now, this is my prepared closing. Right? Our sense of place and our sense of community identity and how we think about our community are very important. Pleasant Hill may not be defined by any particular natural resource, such as a bridge or a mountain, a view or a landscape, but we are defined by our geography. City boundaries become blurred lines, and by continually making an effort to brand our city to find its gateways, we reinforce not only to ourselves, but to those around us, that Pleasant Hill is truly at the center of everything. I again want to thank the Chamber for this event. You know, breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. It's probably because it's the meal that I'm more likely to skip. or perhaps it's because of my belief that it's the meal you're most likely to be served bacon. And with that, I say to you, my fellow chamber members, let's go out and bring home the bacon. Thank you.
How about another round of applause for our mayor? In keeping with the whole good, bad theme, bad, taking too long, good, getting off the stage quickly. So, just a few closing comments. You will notice on your tables the flyer for the business runways, the community awards night in 2 weeks, and the International Jewish Film Festival. Please take those with you and plan to attend those. They're great community events, more to come throughout the year. Thank you very much for everybody for being here. Have a fantastic day and a good weekend. Thank you.